Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast, and I'm your host, Chani Nicholas. In this episode, we are talking about the week of May 15th. Listen, this year started off slowly. This year was like, you know what? Let's take January off. Let's not really worry about February. Let's actually get going in March. In March, we had Pluto change signs. First, we had Saturn change signs. We had Mars then change signs for the first time in 7 months. Then April, we had eclipse season and another Mercury retrograde because that's how often they happen. And in May, we have another big shift. It's Jupiter. Jupiter is changing signs, and it's happening this week. Jupiter is moving from the fiery sign of Aries, where it wants to get everything done super fast, and the everything is growth and bringing about abundance. And it's now moving into Taurus this week on May 16th. And this is what it means. Jupiter in Taurus is very fertile. It's very fecund. Jupiter is the planet that brings about bounty and wisdom and relaxation and openness. Jupiter is the big yes. Jupiter is also the planet that can bring us opportunities, especially when we stay in the kind of mindset that Jupiter likes, which is expansive. So if we think big, if we act expansively, if we move with trust and faith in our lives and ourselves and our ability to meet the moment, Jupiter loves that and tends to meet us or help us to unlock some kind of potential. So when it's in Taurus, it's in a sign that's ruled by Venus, which is important because Venus is another planet that brings about sweetness and goodness and something that can really help us. So Jupiter and Venus are the two planets in the traditional system that help us. And Jupiter being in Venus's sign can feel really luxurious. It can feel really abundant because both of them are really down with that. They're like, why not have a good time? If you're relaxed and you're able to receive the sweetness and the joy of the moment, you're going to create your own luck. So that's what this combo is really about. It's also about slowing down. Jupiter and Taurus is like, look, y'all are rushing through everything good and you're missing the point. This year, in the next 12 months, the wisdom is to be found in slowing down and enjoying what is here. It's not about accumulating more, although we could make a case for Jupiter in Taurus maybe being a little desirous of a lot of pleasure. Fine. But it's still going to move slowly. It still wants to savor all the things. It still wants to think about the region where these bees were that made the honeys, the type of flowers and the type of scents and the type of tastes and the location. And it's very, very, very earthy. And it's very much about the abundance of the earth. So this is a beautiful moment to think about how we're going to slow everything down to maybe try to help stabilize life on the planet, because capitalism wants us to move so quickly that we burn through all the resources and doesn't think about what the backup plan is going to be. Jupiter and Taurus is like, hey, guess what? Let's not the way to go. It's also not making us happy. It's actually making us the reverse of happy. Interestingly, Jupiter changes signs once a year, but it doesn't get to the same sign for 12 years, right? So the last time Jupiter was in Taurus, we had the Occupy Wall Street movement. Now, other astrology was also happening at that time that was also framing that moment. But there is something here about looking into how our economic structures and systems work and what that means for us. It's also, it's Jupiter in Taurus, the sign of the bull, and if you look at the emblem for Wall Street. Okay, so there's that piece of it. Also, the movie that was huge the year that Jupiter was in Taurus is The Hunger Games, which is wild. Because if you think of Taurus as material life and therefore as, money and the power that people can amass from it. And Jupiter as like exaggerating some story about physical life and material resources. Then the fact that the Hunger Games, also Taurus is about food, being so huge and such a massive hit and also such a tale for our time is fascinating. So we'll look for those themes again this time around. And this time around, Uranus is in Taurus. So there is a desire to change the ways in which we work with the Earth's resources and to upend and disrupt inequitable economic systems. This is not something that gets done in a day or a year, right? This is long-standing movements that have to be upkept and tended to year after year after year. But eventually Jupiter and Uranus will make a conjunction, and I think that will be a really fascinating moment in terms of equity and economy and material life, material resources, who has them, who doesn't, how it all works. So looking forward to that. This week, though, Jupiter will make a square to Pluto. And that's the first time this has happened in a long time because Pluto just moved into Aquarius, right? So from Taurus, Jupiter is making a square to Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius is about the transformation of society. It's about the power of the people. It is about understanding when we rise up together, we can get a tremendous amount done, or we can transform a whole lot. Now, Jupiter in Taurus squaring this Pluto in Aquarius speaks to a couple of themes. One of them is a desire to win and succeed and maybe amass a lot of power. So we might see a big power move this week on the kind of world stage. And it's also about that desire to win on a kind of personal level. Then on Friday the 19th, we have a new moon in Taurus, and it's co-present with Jupiter. So that feels really important and abundant. This is a week that you want to work with in terms of seeding potential for abundance and growth, and also thinking really deeply about the kind of abundance that could unfold in your life if you were to slow down. What would it mean to move at a pace that was pleasurable, especially in the area of your chart and therefore your life that contains Taurus? But in any aspect of your life, what would it mean to slow down enough to enjoy this? What would it have to change? What would have to be rearranged? Isn't it worth it? This life doesn't last that long. Really, truly, we are here for a nanosecond. Are we rushing through everything? Are we actually taking in anything that we've amassed even? Like on a material level, are you even enjoying the things? On an interpersonal level, are you making time to enjoy the connections in your life? On a personal level, are you making time for your body to recuperate and regenerate and respond and relax and process and do its thing? Recalibrate, right? So Jupiter in Taurus is here to teach us about the seasons of growth and the need to recuperate from that cycle of growth, because it's the whole thing. Taurus is like, oh, no. We don't stay just in production. We don't just stay in like hyperdrive mode. We go through the whole cycle. There's a slowing down, and there's a composting, and there's a going back down to nothing before we start again and regenerate and grow a new cycle. So have that in mind. On the 20th, Mars then changes signs. Not as big of a deal at all as Jupiter, but still, it's another planet changing signs in the same week. Sunday, we start Gemini season. So then the sun changes signs. Then the sun moves into Gemini. So again, there's a lot of change this week. There's a lot in the air. There's also that new moon. It feels like a new beginning because it's the first time also we've had a new moon in Taurus with Jupiter co-present in over a decade. So it feels quite important to work with. Okay, having said all that, this is how the week is going to roll out. Monday, the 15th, we have Mars making a trine to Neptune. Monday is a beautiful day to move in the direction of your dreams and to move in the direction of your inspiration. Tuesday, Jupiter moves into Taurus. We're thinking about how we can slow down to create a greater sense of abundance in our life. Wednesday, Jupiter squares Pluto. We're going to watch the power dynamics unfold. We're also going to take some of that energy and be like, okay, where is it that I really want to double down in my promise to live into the abundance, and what's the change that needs to happen in order for me to do so. Thursday the 18th, the Sun sextiles Neptune and Mercury sextiles Saturn. This is a great day to make some plans and to, again, kind of sink into our dream. The Sun sextile Neptune is very dreamy and very poetic, and it's also telling us that there's something important about shining our light on what is kind of ideal to us. On Friday, we've got that new moon, so we're working with this new moon energy. We are planting seeds of future abundance and going slow enough to enjoy it, to let it unfold. On Saturday, the 20th, we've got Mars changing signs. Mars moving into Leo is fiery. It's not bossy, it's the boss, okay? This is about us moving into that area of our life and self that needs to be the boss. Mars is going to quickly, on the same day, make an opposition to Pluto, which is going to test our own kind of personal power and probably tease out some situations that feel a little contentious. So I wouldn't get into it if you don't have to on Saturday. Like, I'd be like, that really, really, really gets me, and this argument isn't worth it. So I'm going to go work that out. Or maybe the argument is worth it and you want to get into it. But the astrology on Saturday, part of it, it's short. It's not long lasting, but part of it is definitely there to play tricks on us. So do with it what you will. But Sunday's lovely. Sunday, Gemini season begins, and the Sun makes a trine to Pluto and a sextile to Mars, which means that there's a lot going on. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like a whole new kind of sense. And it feels like there's something really transformational and powerful and also really energizing. It feels like the best day maybe of the year to have brunch, to celebrate, to meet everybody at the park, to have a picnic, to have some kind of like outdoor social event, daytime party. I don't know. Go have fun with it. I love the astrology of Sunday. And we will talk more. We'll keep talking all year about what this Jupiter in Taurus could be about for you. Thank you all so much for leaving us reviews of the app in the App Store. We appreciate it. We read them all. I want to share one with you called Longtime/Lifetime Mutual Support. As a longtime Chani supporter, I remember the days of email subscriptions, Dropbox downloads of monthly readings, and the occasional super last-minute star update. I loved every minute of it and was so inspired to hit the books, including hers, to learn all the ins and outs and details of astrology, to better understand how it applied to me on a deeper level. Yet, right when I began this journey, the Chani app dropped and everything changed. I now had everything I could ever want to know right there in front of me, personalized and updating in real time with each planetary movement. All I can say is thank you, Chani. It has been an honor watching you grow and to receive your guidance in my own growth and evolution. Listen to your reading this week. Work with this new moon, please. Sending you all the new moon, Jupiter in Taurus blessings. Also sending you lots of love. I will see you back here next week. Bye for now.